All right, all right, all right. There we go. There we go. Now I'm on. I'm okay now, y'all. I'm okay. All right, all right, all right. Let me pull up some here. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah. Coming this evening with a message regarding the trumpet. The trumpet being blown. The trumpet being blown. A lot of times when you speak of a trumpet being blown, a lot of people think it's like, an instrument that people play, and that's the type of trumpet. But we do know the Hebrew Israelites, they have this, I don't even know what they call it, but they tend to blow it during some feasts, days of feast, and new moon. They tend to blow it. But I want to talk about the Most High Yah blowing the trumpet. I want to get into the Most High Yah blowing a trumpet. And I want to let you know, when blowing a trumpet, it does not match with the trumpet of the sound of an instrument that one plays. It ain't going to sound like that, okay? The way Yah has it actually taking place in this day and time, because I see him blowing the trumpet, and it's more so a form of warning. That's what I'm seeing. Yah is blowing a trumpet. He's allowing the trumpet to be blown. Let me say it like that. The Most High is allowing the trumpet to be blown as a form of warning. It would not be no need for the Hebrew Israelites to be blowing anything. They want to blow something to try to hold on to the tradition of yesterday, when then the Most High even had a problem with it, because they wanted to sound their trumpet during the feasts, important feast times, and during the time of new moons. But Yah was not honoring, because what? Their hearts wasn't right. And see, that's what a lot of people think. They think, okay, we're going to keep the traditions without even having the Most High present within them, nor recognizing that he is all power. They just assume that it's about keeping a tradition that wasn't kept by those who had the tradition applied to them. They didn't keep it, but they now tend to teach the Judah that blowing the trumpet and the sounding of it for the certain feast days and certain a new moon. That's what they do it during the new moon as well. But let me tell you, how can one blow a trumpet in a time as this? What would be that trumpet being blown? It would be a warning. Let me give you an example. You remember, hello in the live chat, it's good to see you. You remember in was it Matthews, about the was it Matthews, where the 10 virgins, you remember a trumpet was blown? Do you remember? Okay, the trumpet was blown then. It wasn't a trumpet of sound. It was a trumpet of warning. And I'm going to bring before you the trumpet of the Most High Yah that comes to us in this day and time in the form of a warning. He's not going to come to warn us through the trumpet of the Hebrew Israelite movement and the Hebrew Israelite cult and their religion, oh, we blow this here certain time because of the tradition of the old. You all didn't keep the Old Testament. That's why the Messiah had to come, because nothing was done even in the order of what Yah pressed forward against a people over and over and over, and they didn't keep it then. But they can't turn around and bring it into this day and try to use it to signify something that they think can go along with what they have, how would I say, built up in their mental state of mind as a celebration. I want to talk about the trumpet that Yah is blowing in this day and time. Yah is blowing a trumpet in this day and time to warn us, you guys. And from what I can see, it's coming all over the place. I'm like looking over here, a trumpet being blown. Over here, I hear it loud and clear in the back of me. And I'm like, wait a minute now, what is this? And he lets me know these are warnings, like unto the trumpet being blown. The 10 virgins in that midnight hour, that trumpet was blown. It wasn't that it was a sound in which one would hear. It was a warning. It's that time. So Yah wants you to know that even in this day that we're in that day, in that last, in this day, let me just keep it like that the trumpet is being blown, and it is a form of warning. Okay? Because I'm going to be honest with y'all. There are people on this devil platform are sending out warnings. They are. But the people are not gripping them, because the warning is not the type of warning that brings the type of change in one to say, okay, well, we better be careful, y'all. This is getting ready to happen, or not so much as this getting ready to happen, but a warning of what is actually going on matches what was said was going to happen in the end days. So I like the idea that even most of his parables were warnings. They were warnings warning us what the kingdom of heaven was likened to, so that we, even to today, and that's what the biggest warning is for us today. Why? Why would you think that the Most High will send out the biggest warning today? Why would he be blowing the trumpet and blowing it loud today? Why today? Because he's coming for something that no one is really looking for. And I'm going to be honest, it's a lot of people saying they're going to Mount Zion when he comes. But if he was to come today, they'll look at him and say, I'll see you later. I'm not leaving what I got. That's just how sad it is. That's the reality of it. Okay? But just think, he is sending out warnings, because even spirit and truth with the light is a form of warning us. You think it's warning your flesh? No, it's warning your spirit. It's sending a signal to your spirit. It's really preparing your spirit. And the only thing that can prepare your flesh is your spirit. And if Yah is in your spirit and abiding in your spirit, and your spirit is abiding in him, your flesh is really going to get the fullness of the warning. But the warning is the form of the trumpet being blown. No, he's not going to set loud some sounds where you can hear it in the air and give that as a warning. No, he got his servants down here as the speaker of the warning of what's ahead. And guess what I found out? It was the same way back in the days. And we're going to hear Isaiah. We're going to hear Jeremiah. We're going to hear Ezekiel. We're going to hear it in Psalms. We're going to hear it in Romans. You're going to even hear it in Jacob, in Genesis. A warning about that day, as if we are not focusing on that day. That day is something that's very important that's actually taking place in this day and time. And this is the reason why he say that the trumpet is being blown, but the trumpet is not a music, a sound. It's a warning out of the voice of his servants, letting you know. But the only way the servants can really get to you is in the spirit. The warning of the Most High Yah can't even touch your flesh, because your flesh is so dedicated to the earth and to the world, to where it ain't saying, huh, I can't accept that. I got too much to leave behind. I got too much to focus on. I got to pay this bill. I got to do this. I got to go to my job. I got to do. People have so many things that they so embedded in, to when the warning has been spoken as like unto a trumpet, and the people cannot hear it, because they don't think that the creator of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob of yesterday is the same today. And I learned, which I did not know, that Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Ezekiel had a form of warning. And guess what they was warning about, you guys? In this day. Not their day, this day. So you mean to tell me they were blowing a trumpet back then for us today? You see what I'm saying? That's what doesn't make any sense, where we should be where we are at. Because if all of them was sending a warning to us, what are we doing? What are we so far from the warning to it's crazy. We don't even hear the trumpet. Because our ears are so full of voices in the land, to where we don't think y'all just like the world. Oh, he ain't coming. I believe a lot of people who say they represent the Most High, they don't believe he's coming, because the warning sign is for them as well. And it's for us to warn others, you guys. It's not, the warning sign ain't saying, Deborah, put your clothes on, get ready and get on out of here. No. It's about me embracing the warning and prepare others. You see? But in this day and time, it's like people's ears are so clogged up to where they wouldn't be able to hear the warning, even if it was loud as loud can be. Why? It's because their flesh is so bombarded with so many issues in the world, and all the issues in the world, they couldn't hear the trumpet of the Most High Yah. So Yah will blow the trumpet in their spirit, you see, to give them the warning. And in this day and time, even if he has to come through spirit and truth, through the light and spirit and truth, he's going to do it. And he is doing it. Because I'm going to be honest, I've heard people blowing the trumpet of warning. And guess what, y'all? They don't know nothing but that they're warning us. I think that's beautiful. That Yah is not giving this duty to just those that he sent out to serve him. And it could be that it need many to send out the warning, because the people are going to be like the days of Noah. You see? Not hearing, not caring, so bombarded with the cares of the world and the issue of the world, they can't take heed to the warning. But the warning is the trumpet that's being blown to warn us. They had it back then, and it's now. But the beauty of back then, they was warning us now. And I'm like saying, but Father, they was telling us. They were blowing the trumpet for us. What happened along the line that we today don't continue to blow the trumpet, and we can't even hear the trumpet that already been blown for us to give us a what? A heads up. The preachers and the pastors, the bishops and the priests, they're about this worldly service. Because if they was about the Most High Yah in this midnight hour, they'll be out teaching, preaching, and ministering the sound of the trumpet, which is the warning. But instead, you don't hear it nowhere. No one. And Yah is so just. He's so righteous. He's so upright. He is not going to take the next move until he warn us, until he blow that trumpet, which is a warning, and then he moves to the next level. But he's gonna warn you. Many people don't want to hear it. And it's in conversations, even at your workplace. There's somebody there might be blowing the trumpet. In your community, you might have one person blowing the trumpet. In your family, you definitely going to have somebody blowing the trumpet, because y'all going to have a ram in the bush in your family, whether you know that or like it or understand it or not. He going to always have his light somewhere in your family. In your place of worship, your pastor might not be it. The members, the deacons, they might not be it, but y'all going to have his light. See, that's the problem with people. They put him so low so they can stand high and be seen to be something when they are nothing. Because the one that they got low in their sick mind, he's the highest of the high. But you so sick, you want to put him low so that you may appear to be high. Don't that sound like Satan? I heard people teaching in this day and time about who Satan is. Oh, Satan ain't what they told you that he is. As if Satan is not really a bad entity. Oh, Satan still deal with Yah even to today. I sat back and I said to myself, I said, see, they wouldn't understand. Nobody, these people wouldn't understand that. Will I understand it? Yeah. Because I told y'all. When I heard Satan dealing with Yah one-on-one like that, instant, I said, wait a minute, hold up. Hold up. Father, he know about your right hand. He know you got a right hand. And this whole world don't know nothing about your right hand. But Satan know about your right hand? How did he get to know? Satan was really communing with Yah with the utmost respect. No, we can't teach that because we want to teach it the way we taught it. So when I'm hearing these people now talking about who Satan is, I'm like saying that's the same way I see him from what the Father taught me from the wilderness. He's crap. I told y'all every power that Satan has is what people have given him here. All this power, everything somebody do that's wicked and evil, they blame it on Satan. When if Satan the cause, why won't he be standing next to you come judgment? So you can say, but he made me do it. Like Adam said when he sinned, that woman you gave me, and first he blamed the father, then he blamed her. Never owned up when I just simply disobeyed you. Never did. That right there is the full testimony of the book of Genesis in the beginning. It should have told every male and female that males, as in men, will never own up to their sin. See, we want to say that Adam was the first man. Come on with it. Let's pull up. We want to say he was all that and some, and it was woman. But when when it all stand before you. The woman didn't have no problem saying, but you gave me to him. And you told him, but he didn't stop me. It's a lot of things she could have said to the father, but the father said, oh, I don't want to hear from her. It was me and you. And he never really owned it. So that's when the father told me, when I was in Atlanta, Georgia, when the people wanted me to turn this thrift store I had, which was a big place, but they wanted me to have every Wednesday, the men and the women, we come there and we have family counseling. You see, I was hearing from the men, I was hearing from the women, I mean, all over in the community. But y'all never led me to be really about that, because I was asking the father, why is it two people can be together and it's more hate in the household than anything? Because he said, I told you I come to bring that sword. And when I bring that sword in to divide, Deborah, I come to divide. I come to separate what is light from what is darkness in a household. So you're dealing with two darkness. You see? So I'm grateful that he never led me to, I really wanted to do it, but it was something that he never led me to do. But I was asked over and over from the males and the females. But getting back to this here trumpet being blown, that's the warning y'all want you all to know about this evening. That there is a trumpet that is being blown, but it is a warning instead of some sounds to your ear. And what is your ear? The flesh. This warning is to your spirit. It's time to get it right. Seek the things that is right and pleasing to the Father. It's that time. Let's try Psalms. When I get over to Psalms 81 and verse 3, in the book of Psalms, chapter 81, verse 3 and 4, it says, blow up the trumpet in the new moon, in the time appointed on our solemn feast day. Verse 4. For this was a status for Israel and a law of Yah of Jacob. Now, a law of Yah of Jacob and a statute for Israel. Why is there? Wait a minute. For this was a statute for Israel and a law of Yah of Jacob. I like that. I like that. Because it's separating something here. It's separating something. But verse 3 is talking about blowing the trumpet for the new moon in the time appointed on our solemn feast day. This is what they do today. The Hebrew Israelites, they come and honor that. They honor things like that. They perform the trumpet. But how can you honor this and perform this without having Yah, the power within you? Because this is what it's all about in this day and time, is to live as if you're awakening and you got it packed down. You know it now. You good on the outside. Because the trumpet that they're blowing, even to today, even based on what David have here back in Psalms 81 and verse 3, blow up the trumpet in the new moon, in the time appointed on our solemn feast day. Remember, I was telling you that's what the Hebrew Israelite men practice. But what about your inner man? You wants to blow up the outer man for a sound. But what about the trumpet that you need to hear in your spirit? As a prophet in the wilderness that is assigned to Judah, that is what I can behold from the level of the wilderness. They have never been able to abide by what Yah say do. They like to do the things that represent Yah, that shows their outer man and what they're doing on the outer man. But Yah like to check them today and say, the trumpet, you can blow it all day and all night. You can blow it for your new moons, your feast days, or whatever you want. It's vain and it's wax in this day. Only trumpet is being blown. It's the trumpet to prepare you to get ready. That's what this message is about. Yah is sending a trumpet, which is a warning. It's time to be ready, not get ready, but to be ready. Okay. I said to you all yesterday that there's something, I can't say exactly what it is that's coming, but there's something coming. Boy, if I knew, I sure would break that thing down. I sure tell you. But I can feel that thing. So this here is even matching it. Yah is saying the trumpet has been blown. I've sent my servants as the trumpet to warn you all. Okay. Now, when I get to Isaiah, in the book of Isaiah, many of people in the Hebrew Israelite movement, they think the trumpet is a sound they can hear in the flesh. The 10 versions, that wasn't no trumpet for the flesh. That was the trumpet for the spirit, you guys. First and foremost, it was a parable. But it was a sound of the spirit. So therefore, it's not, you have to separate all this nonsense that they're doing in the flesh and calling it spiritual, calling it having the connection to the Father when it does not. Now, when you get to Isaiah chapter 58, in Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 1, I was just looking at that. Isaiah 58 and verse 1, and it reads, cry loud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet. You see? He's telling us our voice, you guys, is the trumpet today. So when they're out here doing these feast gatherings and all of these new moon gatherings, blowing this trumpet, no. None of that means anything to the Father. It's just you sounding noise for one another, to give pleasure to one another. And that's sad, child. For people who say that they are awakened, and a very small percentage that's lost with the cause and without, they get these trumpets and they blow, not these trumpet, the sound of what they have, and they blowing it and they love it, y'all. And it's no connection to the Father. It's no connection to the Spirit. This day, y'all, this is the day that Yah is allowing the trumpet to be the voice of his servants. And I, Sister Deborah, see others sending warnings. Their warnings is distant from the warning he gives me, but yet it has some truth to it. So I'm like saying, but back in the days of Noah, he was out there for a long time, going to the people, telling the people. That was a trumpet, yeah. That was a trumpet being blown. It was giving them the warning. Look how long Yah allowed him to build that ark. Really, y'all got to understand that right hand of the Father. If you understand the right hand of the Father, you know who built the ark. Okay? When you get to know that power, then you know what the power is capable of doing. Okay? David will tell you that. Sure will. David will tell you it ain't no battle he won. It was the right hand of the Father. And I said, wait a minute. You mean David know about that right hand, Father? It is so powerful that many knows really who Yah is. But people today is so distant. They have no idea. But that's the way Yah has orchestrated it. So it ain't nobody's control. But that's how Yah has orchestrated. So when I read Isaiah 58 and verse 1, it says, cry loud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sin. Now see, right there, if he ain't talking to nobody, he talking to me. Because my purpose, my calling, my servants to the Most High Yah, from the Most High Yah, is Jacob, to work with Jacob. And he's sitting here telling him, and the house of Jacob, their sin. Mine is not to Jacob as the whole, but mine is to Judah. Who's telling the others? I know he got a ram in the bush. But I, Sister Deborah, am not ashamed to say that that's who he has missioned me in. Jacob. The part that is Judah. Here is telling you, he's saying, blow the trumpet and show my people their transgression. Show it to them and the house of Jacob their sin. But when I get on here, so many people be hurt by what I'm saying and don't even understand. This is the trumpet being blown. Telling Judah how cuckoo clocked he is. Telling Judah what you're actually doing, even though you know you're doing it, and you're standing in it. You're standing on the outside. You're standing on the left side. You're standing on the right side. You're standing in front of it and in back of it. You're standing in all this transgression, all this sin. And wait a minute, bro. You don't see that? So it says that this trumpet that's blowing is when Yah is sending his servants to blow the trumpet. And this trumpet, he says, to show my people their transgressions and the house of Jacob their sin. Show them. Well, let's go and hear what Jacob was saying the day he died. Genesis chapter 49. What was Jacob saying the day that he died? And I'm going to show you where, it just going back to show you that Yah has always used his servant to speak as the trumpet to a people. In Genesis chapter 49, listen to what Jacob said. Jacob called unto his sons. That's the 12 tribes. And he said, gather yourself together that I may tell you that which shall befall you. Well, guess what he said? He wasn't telling them this time that they were in. I want y'all to understand that. That's the trumpet. He wasn't telling them this time that you are in. No, listen to what he said. I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. So Jacob is dying. Okay, he's dying. And he talking to us. He's talking to us. You hear me, Judah? He's talking to you. He's telling you the last days. They didn't listen then. What makes you think they're going to listen today? They're not. They didn't listen to him. Matter of fact, they rejected even coming to hear what he had to say. Now, who wouldn't want to hear the last words of their dying father? A man that is a seed and the servant of Yah. They knew their father was a man of Yah, a spiritual seed of Yah. They knew it. So if he's getting ready to die and he's calling them to the bedside so he can tell them what the end gonna be like, you see, that's a trumpet, y'all. That was that was Jacob using the trumpet of his voice to tell his sons what is going to happen in the end days. We've been warned on top of warned. We didn't heard trumpet after trumpet after trumpet. And guess what? Here we are today. Y'all still blowing the trumpet. He's still sending his servant out to warn you. But where we are at today, be ready, he says. Be ready. Not getting ready, but be ready. Be found ready. Be found doing. Be ready. That's all y'all is saying. Be ready, y'all. The trumpet blown. Now it's time for y'all to be ready. Jacob said, he told them, his sons, to come, gather themselves, come to me. And while he was laying in the bed, because he was dying, he was telling them his last words, not for him, not for him, not from him, but telling them the outcome in the last days for them, us. You see that? That was a trumpet blown way back in Genesis for us today. Jacob said the last days. Us today. Jacob blew the trumpet for us today. Y'all still blowing the trumpet this day. But yet, people take heed not to the trumpet itself, because they have to match the days of Noah. Now, the days of Noah is what's going to get people for the days of Noah, and it's what's going to really get them and throw them off. In the days of Solomon and Gomorrah is the days of Noah and the days of Solomon and Gomorrah. Those going to be the time where it's going to be really, really, really bad, where ain't nobody going to be hearing the trumpet. And it ain't no trumpet going to be blown. That's the day of Noah. That's the day of Lot. Oh, yes. See, a lot of people didn't know that. See, there's no return. Being like the days of Noah, that means everybody gone. Being like the days of Lot, that means everybody going. That's what that means, y'all. A lot of people didn't know that. They still don't know it. That's what it's meaning. So here go Jacob blowing the trumpet to his 12 sons to warn them what it's going to be like in the end. The last days. Is he talking to the sons that's before him? Is he speaking of their last days? No, us. And we still ain't heard the trumpet that our forefather Jacob has blown. We still ain't heard it. That's what I'm saying. So it ain't just Sister Deborah and many others that's out here. And I ain't going to say many, few that's out here blowing the trumpet. Y'all saying, hey, I'm just letting y'all blow it because that's how I roll. I know these people ain't going to take heed to it. They didn't take heed to it. Look at the whole tribe, Israel and Judah. They didn't even want to come to the bedside of Jacob just so he can tell them what the end going to be like. They didn't want to do that. And they didn't. Because as you go on and read in verse 2, you see where the Spirit of Yah showed up. You see that it was Yah who charged them with fierce to go beside Jacob's bed and hear the end for us. Woo, woo, woo. See, that trumpet was blown back then, y'all. And this is what the Hebrew Israelites, the men who want to run around here pretend they lions, they kings, they leaders, this is what they should be talking about. It's what Sister Deborah's talking about. But they can't, y'all, because they still have to have he that is greater in them than he that's greater on the outside of them. And that's themselves. They're not going to let Yah be greater than them. They're just not going to do it. So I like the idea that here in Genesis chapter 49 and verse 1, how my forefather Jacob did blow the trumpet. He did warn them what the end going to be like. That's why they didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to hear it. Because the end days, the last days, is not the good days, y'all. I know you want to bake a cake. I know you want some ice cream. Have your cake and have your ice cream. It's going to be better than any cake and ice cream on Mount Zion. But the end days, there are things that must and need be according to the will from the kingdom. Has to take place. And it ain't going to be good. So there go Jacob in Genesis chapter 49 and verse 1. He gave the warning to the whole house of Israel and the tribe of Judah. Why ain't Judah telling us about that? Why ain't Judah informing us? No, they can't. Because they don't want Yah to exceed or stand above them. And I know y'all don't understand that, but people, the reason why they can't speak spirit and truth and speak with the light in their right hand, because they don't want nothing to get the glory from them. They don't want no glory taken from them. They don't want no honor taken from them. They're doing too good on YouTube. They doing so good on YouTube, they don't want nothing to interfere with what they got going. Okay? So when I get to Jeremiah had something to say. No, not Jeremiah, Ezekiel. Let's go to Ezekiel. And in Ezekiel, you know, that's our place of where he's going to bring us out of captivity and take us over to Mount Zion. But in Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 3 through 6, listen to this. Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 3. Let's start there. If when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blows the trumpet and warn the people. You see that, y'all? When this is a watchman. This is why I tell you, these so-called Hebrew Israelites, these men call themselves watchmen. They ain't watching over nothing but their family and themselves. And basically, a lot of them family is a bunch of other men. They ain't watching over nothing but themselves, their group, and their families. But listen to what it says. It says here, if when he seeth the sword coming upon the land, he blows the trumpet and warn the people. See, the trumpet today, when the watchman sees what is on the land, he's supposed to teach that thing, speak that thing to the people. So many platforms, they have the room to do just that. But they are refusing to get on these platforms and speak the warning because of where we at in that day. We're in that day that Jacob was warning his 12 sons that wasn't going to be here in this day, but yet he was doing what? Warning them. telling them that your offsprings, us, are going to experience those things. You see? So here, he's giving you an example of what a watchman. But what is happening, the watchmen only consider their blood family. The guys that's their ace in their Hebrew Israelite movement. That's not what he said. He's telling them if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he is to blow the trumpet and warn the people. But each one of these Hebrew Israelite groups have made only the people of Yah is the group that they're in. Most of the people have even gripped their whole little family, a wife, a husband, and their children. Oh, that's the people. That's the only one I'm to warn. You see? Then therefore, they have lost themselves to their owns. Then they become self-centered. All about me, and mine. Why? Because are you a watchman for man, for the flesh? Or are you a watchman for the spirit? Because the trumpet he's talking about really blown is to let them know if the sword come upon the land. He's letting you know something unseen is coming. And he blow the trumpet and warn the people. He's not talking about you and your children and your wife. Or wife, you and your husband and children. He's not talking about the Hebrew Israelite movement and they little group here and this group here. And now one of the groups can get along. But they awaken. Just look, how do that sound? You so awakening till you're hating your brother, even when he says he's awakening to who he know. He know him, who he found out he is. So listen to this. So the trumpet is supposed to be blown. And let me tell y'all something. When I first got on YouTube, I was looking for that. I know y'all might say, Deborah, you're a cuckoo clock too. Yes, I am. Because I was really wanting these men. I mean, I had some really confidence that they were going to pull up. I was hollering and telling them, dude, get the keys and open the door. They can be on here for an hour, 2 hours, and I'm sitting here waiting. Surely he gonna open up the door. Oh, come on, dude, open the door. You know why I was doing that, child? I got off of here. I even though I had my own page, I think at one time I think it was 59,000. One time I had 5,900. The last time before this time I had 3,900. But what the problem is, I get off. I'm waiting. That's how much confidence I had in hoping that the Hebrew Israelite men will pull up. And I'm sitting here just as crazy as a doorknob trying to figure out, well, why they don't open it up? They're supposed to take their keys and open the door. You know what I was talking about? A lot of y'all probably won't even understand what I was talking about. I was talking about truth, spirit and truth. Okay, I'm sitting here listening to you all this time, day after day, week after week, month after month, and I'm waiting for you to pull up. Come on, bro, you're almost there. Just open the door and door. They couldn't do it. They couldn't open up the door. They couldn't bring spirit and truth out. They couldn't bring light out. And they got more hateful and hateful. Then they start gang banging against each other. I said, I'm glad I got off of here. I mean, it just, and right now, they're just going on the cuckoo clock. Because now they just still in the sense of gang banging, because they camps that can't get along with one another. For real, y'all. For real. Especially, it's really getting real bad with them having all these wives. Each one have a lot of wives. Now it's a lot of chaos in their family of wives having babies by other men and men having other babies by other men babies. That's how they doing in Hebrew Israelite. That's why y'all don't see a lot of them on here really talking like they used to, because they went all the way out in the deep end of the ocean. They can't see dry land at all. And they content. Because how does that look after leading 100,000, 200,000 people way out into the middle of the ocean? You led them all the way out there. 300,000, 400,000, 500,000. That's a lot of people, y'all. And a lot of y'all wouldn't understand that. That's a lot of people to take way out there to the middle of the ocean. And then they come back to dry land. And what happened to all the people? They still out there at in the center of the ocean. They still out there. They can't even see dry land. Because that's how far they went out with them. And I'm serious. That's what they did. They took them all out, far out. Till a lot of them fell off. Like it was said, a great falling away. See, the great falling away is not talking about the Catholics, churches, the Christian churches, the Jehovah's Witness, the Muslim. Y'all, wake up. The great falling away is really giving you an insight of somebody that might have had somewhat truth and they turned the other way. You see? That's what that was about. See, a lot of people think the great falling away. No. Great falling away. What is it they falling away from? It wouldn't be no need to have a falling away if they fallen away from the world. So he's not talking about the great falling away is those who had the mind to go in the right way, fell from the way because of the ways that was being taught to them and leading them out in the deep. So they just said, forget all of this. I'm out. You see? But you shouldn't have followed them anyway. But that's what they did. So here in Ezekiel, it says, chapter 33 and verse 3, if when he see the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people. I'm thinking 3.5 years, that has been my voice. And then I run right back into the wilderness. But Father, they can't see. They can't hear. They don't understand. They can't even feel this thing. All this is going on and they can't even see it. Because I know it's coming. I'm not coming. It's here. It's been here. But if you can't, it says here, if you can't see it, the sword coming upon the land, if you can't see it, you can't warn nobody. So who is this that can see? The servants of Yah. They can see it. A lot of people are not going to see it because they got too many issues of life, of living going on to where they're not going to see it, no matter how they think they can see it. Because they got too much bombarding them in living, trying to get living straight. Trying to get living straight. Not knowing that you're going to get caught out there trying to get living straight. So Yah saying that the trumpet that's being blown is not a sound of music for the flesh. The trumpet being blown in this day is the warning. Be ready. Not get ready, he said, but be ready. Okay? Verse 4 says, we in Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 4 says, then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and take not warning, woo, I like that, Father, y'all, and take not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. Father, that's sounding like when the warning comes, and if you don't take heed, you damned. You see how potent his warning is? People don't care. Like the days of Noah. They got warning after warning after warning. All that time he was warning them. They didn't care. Every imagination and thoughts was wicked and evil. They would, therefore, it couldn't even hold a trumpet of a warning. That's how gone they were already. And that's what y'all keep telling me. But you keep blowing the trumpet. And the blowing the trumpet in this day is to bring word of warning. And now y'all say it ain't about getting ready. You better be ready. Because what people are doing, they getting ready, living. And they not getting ready in life. Because they so in tune with living to where they have forsaken life. And he said life is better than living. Because living takes the flesh nowhere but to the dirt. But life take you to the destiny eternal. Only two directions. So since everybody is worried about living, then therefore you all only worried about the flesh. See, a lot of people don't understand how embedded they are and continue to walk in his flesh and calling his spirit. They have no idea that that's what they're doing. They're really feeling that they upright. They in there. And they know this. I know, no. Be careful out there. Be very careful out there, because he said for me to tell you, it ain't going to be getting ready. Be ready. The trumpet has been blown. Okay. So it says here that if you don't take heed to the trumpet, just letting you know, the trumpet is not going to be a horn like the 10 virgins. They blow that horn. That was a parable showing you it in the spirit realm. But the truth of the matter of any trumpet being blown in this day and time, it's supposed to be here to warn you. So while the Hebrew Israelites are blowing all these sounds and this noise with this thing they blow during the feast days and during the new moon, they clowning. It's all vain and vats. It brings nothing to the spirit. Now, if those things would be drawing people to the if those would draw the people to Yah, I could see. But Yah say it's vain and vats. They used it out of order, Deborah, back in the day. I'm not expecting them to use it in this day and time. I got my own servants out there blowing the trumpet. They blowing the warning of the word of Yah into the people. So I'm sitting here saying, okay, so Isaiah knew about it. Jeremiah knew about it. In Psalms, David knew about it. Jacob knew about it. Ezekiel is telling us about it. What's wrong with us? Nothing. That's the problem. The cares of the world got us bombarded with it. But Yah says again, be ready. Not getting ready, be ready. And you know what? Let me tell y'all, for me, I don't know about y'all, but for me, you know what's powerful for me when I hear him say that? Deborah, not getting ready, be ready. It's like saying, don't choose ready. When I say ready, don't choose what ready. Ready means ready, instant. Because you could be leaving off here tonight I could die. So what would I look like telling you to be ready when I know you're going to be dying tonight? Ready in what Yah is saying today and blowing that trumpet, that sound is not a sound of music or sound of the natural ears. It's in the spirit. Because tomorrow is not promised to you like you think you're going to be here tomorrow. So be ready for whenever. Let me find you doing so. And doing so is being in the right place at the right time, being about your father's business, which nobody wants to do in this day and time no more. They put him on the tail end. I catch you on the tail end when I get to you. I deal with you on the tail end. Right now, I'm in the head right now. I got to do this. I catch you on the tail end, Father Yah. Praise you then. There's too much is going on right now. I catch you on the rebound, Father Yah. But when he's saying it to me, be ready, that means really be ready, because ready mean ready. It don't mean ready to go to Mount Zion. It don't mean ready for the kingdom. It means ready at any blinking eye, second, moment, minute, day, week, month, year. Be ready. Be found where you need to be. That's a part of being ready. Walking in the Spirit, talking in the Spirit, exalting him, ready for whatever day he chooses for you. Be ready. But you know what everybody's ready for? Mount Zion. They don't give a rest behind about nothing else. I'm going to Mount Zion. I know he come to get us. That's what the Hebrew Israelite has drilled in everybody's head, to only be ready for that. So how do you get ready for it? I'd like somebody to tell me, how can you get ready for Mount Zion, since you want to just think that, hey, I'm going to be living here and I'm going when it comes. I'm going when it comes. I'm going to Mount Zion. That's all everybody's getting ready for. So they think. But the ready, he says, be ready, it ain't got no connection to Mount Zion. It has a connection to him. Be ready. It has a one-on-one connection to him. And his readiness could be me. I can go into the ground. But when I go in there, guess what? I pray that I am ready, still. Not for the ground my life to be zipped out, but I'm ready to continue to follow him, whether it's in a sleep of paradise, 6 foot under, ready to get up to the New Jerusalem coming down, or whatever. I just want to be found walking in the Spirit, talking about the Spirit, speaking Spirit and truth, being about my Father's business, something many are not focused on. They are concerned about the world. So in Ezekiel, it's telling you, you better watch yourself. Let's go to Jeremiah. Let's see what Jeremiah said. I know Isaiah, Ezekiel, and I know Jeremiah because I read it. Chapter 4, Jeremiah chapter 4. Now watch what he says. Ezekiel was saying you better be ready. It's telling you if you ain't ready, so what? The blood will be on your own hand, your own blood. That means you're going to lose out. Okay? Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 19 to 22. 19. The bowels of my bowels, I am pained at my very heart. My heart maketh noise in me. I cannot hold my peace, because thou hast heard, O my spirit, the sound of the trumpet, the alarm of war. Verse 20. Destruction upon destruction is cried. Destruction upon destruction is cried. For the whole land is spoiled. Suddenly are my tents spoiled, and my curtains in a moment. 21. How long shall I see the standard and hear the sound of the trumpet? I know that's right. Jeremiah said, how long must I hear it? Because Yah is not playing like we think he is, a play toy. He's sending so many wonderful warnings, trumpet blown for us. But we're taking heed to the trumpet of the world and the issues of the world, and we letting that be upon us. Verse 22, we're talking to Jeremiah. For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are stoddish. And you know what? When I looked that up, that means stupid. In case y'all didn't know that, look it up. It means stupid. They are sottish children, and they have none understand, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil. See, that's another thing. You see what he said? They are wise to do evil. I told y'all it's two wisdom. It's one of the flesh and it's one of the spirit. And right here today, y'all, I don't care what church, temple, synagogue, whatever place of worship, Muslim, anybody, they don't even understand that there's two wisdom, two knowledge, two understanding. It's a different from that which is in the flesh and that which is in the spirit. So they serve the flesh. Why? I bet you nobody know why they serve the flesh. Because they can deceive the flesh easier. They can't mess with the spirit. So that's why. That's why. And he says, and they are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge. Who is he talking about? He's still talking about Israel and Judah. He's talking about the house of Israel and Judah. Now, do you think that over in Israel, in the land of Israel today, those fake oohs, you think they apply this to them? Why ain't the whole world applying this to them? Because the whole world already knew that they weren't. Only one don't know is those who don't know who they are. That's how they were able to take that identity and still got it. Because 82% of Israel and Judah don't know they Israel or Judah. I'm going to say Judah. They don't know. That's why they was able to take their identity. You see? Why they don't know? Because they still clowning and acting a fool. All this awakening, and you still, the majority of Judah still don't know he's Judah. Even if he did know it, Judah, it don't mean nothing. They taking each other out. They selling drugs in their community. They killing their women's, their mothers, their fathers, their brothering. They doing all kinds of things. So it don't matter. That's why they can't find out who they are. Because they're doing the things of the world. They are so comfortable. It's easy for them to go kill their 5-year-old baby than to find out that they are Judah. That's how easy it is for them. It's easy for them to take drugs and put it in their community and give it to their mama. It's easy for them to bring guns and shoot each other in their community. And say, well, we didn't bring the guns here. That don't mean you take them and shoot each other. But that's the mind of Judah. And like I said, a lot of people say they don't like Sister Deborah getting on them, but that's your issue. That means you got a deep-rooted issue beyond an issue. Because Sister Deborah came to climb on top of Judah's head. I know you come to lick the ground of this world. That ain't what I come to do. I come to warn Judah that you better watch yourself, because you don't know the Creator and who you messing with, because that's what they doing. That's what they doing. So when I get to Jeremiah chapter 14 and verse 22 said, it tells you here, but to do good, they have no knowledge. They have no knowledge whatsoever. And ain't nobody telling them. Why? Because the trumpet is not being blown. No one wants to give them the warning. That's another kind of sad thing. Nobody wants to warn each other. No one wants to tell each other the truth because everybody wants to make it look like, okay, we don't want to be giving people bad vibes. We don't want bad energy. We don't want to be making things hard for people and people feeling bad. You know what? The truth comes to set you free. Anything outside of the truth, that's what's going to bind you up. Anything outside of truth, because truth to set you free. And if truth don't get to you, what get to you? Or what already have you? Yeah, right. So when I get to Romans chapter 13, in the book of Romans, and even in Daniel, it was a warning. Romans chapter 13. In the book of Romans chapter 13. And I like even Jacob giving the warning. Jacob gave the warning too. To the 12, his 12 sons. It wasn't for them. And what were you thinking that Yeshua on Mount Olive, when he was telling the disciples on Mount Olive, when they said, well, what will be the end like? First thing he told them, let me tell you something. Since you worried about the end, don't be deceived. And then he began to tell them the things that's taking place. But he wanted them to know, first and foremost, let me tell you something. Don't you be deceived. Romans chapter 13 and verse 12. In Romans chapter 13 and verse 12, it reads, the night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off works of darkness, and let us put our armor of light. Do y'all see that? So how many years have y'all heard Sister Deborah tell you spirit and truth? Teach spirit and truth. And what did I say? And the light in your right hand. You see? You see? This, and it's not just in this verse. A lot of times you hear me saying it. And I've been saying it for year after year after year. And you probably never thought that it was actually verses, actually kind of giving you the insight of what I'm saying. Sister Deborah know that right hand got to be in the light. You got to carry that thing. And it's not so much it's in your natural hand. It's in your spiritual. And it says here in Romans chapter 13 and verse 12 through 14. The night is far spent. The day is at hand. Do y'all know what day he's talking about? People just don't understand that. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not chambering and wantonness, not strife and envy. Watch this here, verse 14. But put ye on Yeshua HaMashiach, and make no provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust therein. Now, you know what he's talking about? Exactly what I just told y'all. How people are concerned about living. See, living is attached to the flesh. Life is attached to the spirit. He's letting you know right here in verse 2, the last verse in verse 14. But put on the Yeshua HaMashiach and make no provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof. Now, when you say lust, let's take lust as sexual. That's not the only lust. There's the lust of the desire to lust after things and getting things based on what you lust after, the wanting. You see? And you lust after and you lust after and lust after until you get it. Then you lust after something else. Then you lust after something else. So what it is it's telling you in verse 14, provision for the flesh. Make no provision for the flesh. Don't do that. But what people do, Exactly that. That's what I was saying. They prepare the living and forsake the life. And then I heard yesterday when I was telling you, and he said, isn't life more than food and water and body? Right there. It's more than flesh. But the way the world takes it, and those who don't know no better, but say that they are the light, they take the world and they look at it and they just apply it backwards. And not only that, and they don't see it to be what he said. It should be. We take the tail and we play with it. And we take the head and we make it all of that, which is the world. We make it everything. And we take the tail and just swing that anywhere. We got it tail backwards. Especially when you come to know the spirit realm. You don't want things backwards, okay? You don't want to be dealing with anything backwards. Because if you can't deal with it as being the head of any information you need to know, or you need to speak, preach, minister, or do, you don't ever feel that Yah is the tail end, even though most people make him the tail end, but I don't care. You can make him whatever you want to make him. He said, all is well. Be ready, not getting ready. So when I go to Daniel chapter 10, verse 14, in Daniel chapter 10, verse 14, it says, now I am come to make thee understand what shall befall the people in the latter days. There it go again. There it go again. In the latter days, okay? For yet the vision is for many days. Because it's the end day, y'all. They've been blowing the trumpet for us since the beginning of time. And here Yah has his servants doing likewise. And yet, we still put everything on the back burner. We still make everything that's about the spirit and the spirit realm the tail. And we make everything worldly that has to do with our living of our flesh. We make that the head end and make the spiritual the tail end. Now, you might say, well, where are you getting that from, Deborah? Would you believe that's how I see it from the wilderness? That's how I see it. And to me, it's not really for you, but if he's allowing me to see it from that end, he wanted me to see it for what it is, not what people want to make it to be. And what I see is they got the spiritual realm on the tail end, and they got the worldly living on the head end, the bigger end. So that shows you when he come, be ready. No matter what end you on, you better be ready. Not getting ready, but be ready. That means know already in you who you serve in a way that you're not serving the living over life. So I, Sister Deborah, hope that you got something out of it, because you know what? I did. You know how I got something out of it? When the Most High Yah said to me that the trumpet now in this day, Deborah, in this day, in days to come, the trumpet is the warning of my servants to the people. It's not a sound of a music or a sound that they're there to look for. It is spirit and truth of my servants speaking unto them. And the message from Yah to you today is not getting ready, be ready. Let this mind be in you that Yeshua HaMashiach had in him. And if you got that mind that Yeshua HaMashiach had in him, if you got that in you, you're going to be okay. You're going to be all right. This is what Sister Deborah going to do maybe once a month. And I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to preach about it. Those days has to be over. But I'm going to put this here up. Okay. And I, Sister Deborah, hope that each and every last one of you receive something out of this message, because I know that I have received the fact that the warning is the trumpet that heavens is blowing. Shalom and shalom.